All right, welcome back to
I love
Mostly
that song.
Sports M&J. That was the first time I heard it.
It's kind of catchy.
I'm getting past wires here.
A lot of wires in here.
Give us a
Oh,
You got that?
yeah, that
All
felt
right.
good in the head.
323-284-7826. Now comes the part of the show that we've been waiting to do for a little while.
Yeah,
This is debated on and on throughout history, throughout buddies, on bar stools, everything. Not the best sports movie of all time. Our favorite sports movies of all time.
but that is the best. Like, it's our best.
Yeah, because we are the
And
best.
in our mind, they're the best.
What was you wanted to do the tagline for the show? We love ourselves?
We love ourselves. Everybody's just so nice. Like, our friends are so nice to us. They're like, dude, we want to get ripped a little bit. Call us and, tell us
call
how
us, or if you don't want to call us, get us on Twitter. I'm at
Yeah.
Mike Scavati. I know I keep saying this, but
give us a hard time,
keep
please.
going. I'm at Mike Scavati. Jay is at JFDev76. So we put together some brackets.
Yes.
16 teams of what we think are some of the best sports movies. Before we get started on it, we're going to do half of the bracket today, the first round. Before we get started, when I put it up this morning, as did you, on whether it was Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Vines, whatever it may be, we got a lot of crap for leaving certain movies out, which we had to
of course,
do.
yeah. I mean, like we said, this was like we've been going back and forth for a few weeks about this, about certain movies, and then, people we knew that were like, in our conversations were calling us idiots for leaving certain stuff out, and it's just the nature of the beast, man. It's like the NCAA tournament. Some people are left off the list. God bless you. There's the NIT. There's other tournaments you can go play in, but you can't play in ours. Sorry about that. Space Jam.
I mean, the tweets are already coming in. Kenneth Loophole Jr.
Yeah.
said Rockies 1-4. Karate Kid, the brackets are questionable at best.
Well, there you go. I mean,
bonus.
that-
Where's all the right moves?
That tells me right there that guy doesn't have an appreciation for incredibly watchable movies. I mean, that was one of my criteria. This has to be a movie that's watchable to me. If it comes on, regardless of where it is in the movie, I'm going to want to watch the rest of it.
True.
And I have to know 60 to 80% of the dialogue already so that I can act it out as well.
Of course.
So, I mean, that's a major part of my criteria.
We just did a whole scene from Old School because somebody said Meatloaf.
Oh, yeah.
we did
we
that
went
whole
on like
thing.
is there
we know
sports
every
in there?
line
They
of
have
it.
their Olympics. Yeah, we could have thrown that one in there.
Yeah, that's stretching a little bit. I think people are already pissed at us for putting the Karate Kid in. Do we stick with Days of Thunder? Is that on the other side of the bracket?
But like the Karate Kid is so transcendent in our lives. Like it's something that like we think about. I mean, moving to California, didn't you immediately want to know where Reseda was?
I still, every once in a while, when I have to go up to the valley, I wonder how close I am to Reseda. Golf and stuff. How cool was golf and stuff back then?
Dude, that's another. No miniature golf courses anywhere, which is sad. But yeah, I mean, Reseda, the Karate Kid, Billy Zabka, Sweep the Leg. You're the best. I mean, we go on and on. We'll get to that next week when we get
Hopefully
to that
we
matchup.
could get in touch with Billy, get him on the show to talk about it.
That would
a
be
little bit.
fantastic.
Some movies we left off
Yeah.
that were on the bubble. People are really pissed about, again, we talked about this earlier, about Friday Night Lights. That really wasn't even a question with us to get
No.
that in there.
I mean, all right, we'll give this like 3 minutes where we'll name some like here's some bizarre sports movie like American Flyer was a great movie. Kevin Costner, early days. I mean, Kevin Costner's the greatest sports movie actor of all time. American Flyer, cycling movie, fantastic movie. Breaking Away, another very good movie. What are some of yours?
Well, that's what I was going to say was we put, 3 boxing movies in.
Yeah.
And you could say a fourth kind of similar, and we put them all in the same quadrant of the bracket with karate. I was thinking maybe we get one from each thing. Like Endless Summer is one of the best movies.
I loved Endless Summer
history.
and Endless Summer too. But then I said, all right, then we're doing documentaries, and Hoop
Right,
Dreams
and then-
was amazing, and you said Hoop Dreams sucked, and that is another like thing that just
I was a little
fired me up
disappointed
to
with Hoop
argue with
Dreams.
you about. Hoop
Yeah,
Dreams
yeah.
is fantastic, man.
I was a little disappointed with it. I read the book first. The book was awesome. I'm one of those people right now.
Yeah.
But Hoop Dreams didn't make the
wasn't
list.
as good as the book.
Blue Chips. People are pissed about Space Jam.
I saw a
Kazam.
kid the other day walking down the street. This kid couldn't have been more than 20, and he had like a Blue Chip shirt on with like it said Neon Badeau, Ricky Rowe, and whatever Penny's name was in the movie on his shirt. And I stopped and said, "Man, that's a great shirt." So that was cool. I mean, Blue Chips was a great movie, but sorry, you didn't make it.
Great movie, not going to make
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
We had a tough time. I mean, you want to remember the Titans in for sure. Baseball was the tough part. There were so many good baseball movies that we can do. We had a tough time
Well, what's the
narrowing
big
it
omission?
down.
Sandlot.
The Sandlot was huge.
A lot of Sandlot.
That was the first thing my wife Jen said. Sandlot. There were a few more. If you can think of any, let us know. We got, what do we have? 1, 2.
Not to be misogynist or anything, but this is like a man's conversation right here.
Yeah.
And if a woman is going to bring up a movie, I'm probably immediately gonna just discard it because my girlfriend said the same thing. She's like Sandlot,
Sandlot.
and I was just like, all right, if you like the Sandlot, I can't. No offense.
But then,
I don't
you know, someone like Jen, as soon as I said Karate Kid, she said, yes, absolutely. That's got to be in there, especially for two guys like us. Like, that's
well, that's the awesome part of women.
most of the
When they're
movies
right, they're
on
right.
this. Yeah, most of the movies on this list, when they're on, I will watch
Yeah.
all of it, except for our number one seed right now.
Is that what you want to do? You want to do Hoosiers and
We're doing the number one seed in the East bracket, Hoosiers against number 8, Jerry Maguire.
All right, so the way we did this, I'm going to take a movie, and Mike's going to take a movie. We've already predetermined out of the movie that we like better. We tried not to set up matchups where it was obvious that one would win. We wanted to have a legitimate, somewhat of an argument. Although here, I don't think it's too much of an argument. You've been talking up Jerry Maguire. I'll give you the floor here.
You didn't. All right, to start, Jerry Maguire was on the bubble with you for a little while. I think this is a no-brainer to put that in. A lot of people debate whether or not this is a sports movie. Those people do not bother calling in because you are wrong. It is one of the better sports movies in the last little while, and it encompasses everything. Now, if I'm the one starting this off,
you are. I'll give you 1 minute to talk about this movie.
Okay. It has arguably the biggest, not my favorite, the biggest movie star in the past 10 years or so. Tom Cruise playing a phenomenal role. Now, this is a sports show. He is a sports agent. I love hearing all the behind-the-scenes stuff that sports agents do because we don't know all the BS they have to deal with and concessions they have to make for their clients and all that. So that's to start. You have pretty girls in the movie, 2 of them, okay? The favorite, the underdog, Kelly Preston and what's her name? Who works out at the gym? Renee Zellweger.
Who works out at the gym?
Who works out at my gym. She's there all the time.
Yeah.
So is, what's her name? The $1 Million Baby. That could have been in there also, which we didn't even think about putting in. We got enough boxing movies. Okay. The Oscar competition. 5 nominations for Jerry Maguire. 2 for Hoosiers. Okay? Nobody won in Hoosiers. Cuba Gooding Jr., arguably one of the best athletic characters in the history of sports movies, won an Oscar for this with the best tagline you could possibly have in a movie. Okay? You know what that is?
Show me the money.
Show me the money. One other thing. Well, I got a couple other things.
I have an ant problem, Jerry. I got ants in my house.
This movie has more memorable quotes than any other movie we have on this list, except for the number 2 seed in this region, Caddyshack. Okay? You have Show Me the Money.
Mm-hmm.
You have You Had Me at Hello. That's a great one. That gets all the women involved. You Complete Me. I mean, come on.
You're very sentimental,
so
man.
Simple.
This sounds more like a love story than a sports movie.
Well, that's funny you bring that up. That brings me to my next point. This movie is all-encompassing, okay? It has sports. It has drama. It has comedy. It has a love story. It has a sentimental thing with the kid, shoplifting the pootie, everything, okay? I don't see how there's any possible way.
Shoplifting the pootie.
And I can't. I got too many Twitters and Facebooks and all that stuff I'm going on right now, and I'm a little fired up about this debate to play the clip, the Show Me the Money clip.
Yeah.
That's one of the best. I mean, how does it get any better than that? And this movie has every single aspect you would like for any. It has a little bit for everybody. Okay.
Okay. You done? Or you got more?
I'm gonna take a little break. I'm gonna give you
take
the
a deep
floor
breath
for a little bit.
I understand.
And obviously, I can't find this.
First things first. I'll give 20 seconds on who didn't love Jerry Maguire. I love Jerry Maguire. That being said, it's not about me disparaging Jerry Maguire. It's about championing Hoosiers. Hoosiers, arguably the greatest basketball movie ever made. All right.
Yes.
Small town. Beats the big guys. You got the outcast coach shows up, mysterious, great casting, great acting. Sports movie, must have guys that can actually play the sport. There needs to be authenticity when I'm watching a movie and guys play. They got Division III basketball players, a subject that I hold near and dear, being a Division III basketball player. Those guys were great. All right, Hackman shows up. Hackman nailed. I mean, Hackman is one of the most underrated actors in the history of cinema. I mean, there's not a movie I've never seen him bad in a movie. I watched Enemy of the State the other night just to watch him. He was so good. For a guy, I mean, it's an older movie. It came out, 25 years ago. So maybe it's not as relevant for younger people, but for people in their 30s, and I would think any basketball player of any age, I would hope, you watch that movie, and to watch that journey, the first thing you want to do is go out and play basketball, and you want to play the right way. Jimmy Chitwood, one of the great all-time heroes of any
Very
sports movie.
underspoken hero.
Underspoken. When he
Like 3
walks
lines in
in,
the whole movie.
when the coach is about to get fired, and he walks into the town hall, Norman Dale about to get kicked out,
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Chitwood steps up. You haven't heard the guy talk the entire time. The anticipation of him doing that is, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
I remember the lines.
You know, I don't know if this will make a difference. I'm ready to start playing some ball.
Coach
and then they start going
stays.
crazy. Yeah. One thing. I play Coach stays. He goes, I go. Man,
Yeah.
I mean, like,
And that was it
amazing.
right there.
And then they have the great musical score. You know, they go to Butler Fieldhouse. I mean, you have Ollie making the. I mean, I could go on and on about the, you know, every scene in the movie that it just touches me.
Yeah.
You know, there is a little bit of a love story. Obviously, you care about a love story a little bit.
But this is what I was going to say. I don't mean to cut you off here because
Yeah.
I know this is your time. The love story, get rid of it in Hoosiers. It was so stupid and pointless, and it was every time they went to Gene Hackman going to what's
That's
her
because
name's
Barbara
farm.
Hershey is not attractive, and you're being shallow.
No, I don't think Renee
Well-
Zellweger's that attractive either. But,
Yeah, but
she's
she's a 10 compared to Barbara Hershey.
But the Hoosiers had down points. It had dead time. When I'm watching it, and he winds up on that farm when they're chipping the wood, I'll change the channel and
I haven't even
Go
brought
see
up
something
my
else.
ace in the hole. Dennis Hopper.
yeah, he was nominated for an Oscar
Dennis
for it.
Hopper
He was
was
fantastic.
shooter. He was
But you're avoiding the topic
amazing.
here. Is the love story just, at that point?
But the love story
get rid
was
of it.
secondary.
Now this is David
But it
Anspaugh,
was.
one of his movies. Yeah, we know him actually from drinking a lot of kettle martinis at South.
Directed Glitter with Mariah Carey. Maybe that's one of the knocks on
Could have
Hoosiers,
started
but-
off with Rudy. Other than that, you know.
No, the love story was secondary. And, you know, all the pieces combined, the players, the town, the story, the fact that it was actually based in reality, and it's something that happened with Milan High School, you know, back in the 50s, the acting, the music, the speeches. I mean, the speeches Gene Hackman gives in that are, I mean, there are things that are still played on Jumbotrons, you know, in sports arenas today that get people fired up. I don't even think it's a question. I think based on movie, acting, music, talent in the movie, the actual basketball being played, Butler, every time Butler plays a basketball game and they do it in Butler Fieldhouse, it's the first thing you think of. And you're like, man, those guys are so lucky they get to play in the Hoosiers gym. It's not even a question to me. You know, I love Jerry Maguire. Jerry Maguire's not a sports movie. That's where I think Hoosiers gets the leg. Nobody had to play sports. Rod Tidwell, fantastic. If the thing I think they missed on that movie
Jerry
was
O'Connell is Kush. Come on.
hey, I love Kush. Either surf or ski. If well, that's what they missed, a spinoff. I would have loved to have seen a Rod Tidwell movie after that, or a TV show with Cuba. He was great. No arguing. Jerry Maguire, great movie. Not a sports movie. There wasn't a lot of sports played in it. I got
It was
Glenn
a behind-the-scenes sports movie.
You know, I love the Eagles, but Glenn Fry was my least favorite Eagle. I was on the Henley side of that, you know, that argument. Seeing him as a GM, I didn't buy it. Good movie, great movie, love story. Cameron Crowe, wordy, blah 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 blah.
One of the
Great
best,
stuff.
I think, of all
Not a
time.
sports movie. Hoosiers, hands down, not even close. Iconic Mount Rushmore movie.
Now, one of the things we're
The
not
end.
going to do is we're not going to advance anybody on just yet. We're going to have kind of a follow-up show next week. We need to hear from you. I know a lot of you guys are on the message board still talking. You know,
Yeah.
we have Beat Dave Beth saying, don't you know the human head weighs 8 pounds?
Yeah,
You know, these are classic lines. Bees and dogs can smell fear. They're classic lines from this movie.
They are. I try and
Um,
scare every bee I see now because of that. You know what I mean? I want to see. Well, wait, they can smell my fear. Oh, damn! I got to not be feared then. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. about
What's the Tom Selleck movie where he's been a baseball player? Like, we have
Oh,
still
dude.
people timing in with Mr. Baseball.
Mr. Baseball
Totally
is
agree with that.
amazing.
And this is why we aren't going to make any rash decisions today.
Why not? It's our list.
Because some of these people, I got to say, are a little scared to call in and make their case for either one or the other. Now, one thing they don't know is
We're going to be doing this for months then if we don't pick some winners.
they will have the support. They had to have to pick a side, and they'll have the support of one of us right now
Yeah.
for Hoosiers or Jerry Maguire. Now, this is a 1 versus an 8 seed,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's nearly as easy as you say.
Well, none of these are going to be easy because it's only 16 movies and they're all very good. But I'm saying if the title of this bracket is a tournament is a sports movie tournament, I would think that actually playing sports in the movie would play a
But then-
pivotal role in the decision of who's going to advance and who's not.
Well, then we need a tiebreaker, obviously, because I
That's
think
the
Jerry Maguire should
tiebreaker.
move on.
That's the tiebreaker. They played sports in one movie, and in another movie they didn't really
Of course
play
they played
sports.
sports. How do you think Tidwell got hurt at the end?
They played sports for 10 minutes. And
But
granted,
did they play sports?
and I will give them credit. It was a great sports scene. You had the Cowboys, and it felt real. You had the Monday Night Football crew up there. Fantastic. I love Jerry Maguire. Not a sports movie. It's a Cameron Crowe movie. Is Almost Famous a music movie, or
Of
is
course
that?
it's a music movie.
Yeah,
Almost
it
Famous.
is,
It's one of the
but
best.
I don't know. Everything is just there's so much dialogue.
You got beef with Cameron Crowe, I think, not with Jerry
it's
Maguire.
Just a lot of dialogue for me. If I'm watching a sports movie, I want to see some sports, man. And I want to see the guys actually play some sports. I mean, dialogue is important because we like quoting these movies, but they need to be sports-related quotes. All the quotes you're quoting have nothing to do with sports. They have to do with life. You complete me. You're telling me you're going to pick a movie over Hoosiers where one of the taglines is "You complete me"?
The thing I have,
Give me a break.
The thing I have against Hoosiers is the down points, the love story. Get rid of it. Just make it 100% about basketball. That's why people are
It
watching
is
that movie.
100% about basketball. The love story is so inconsequential, but you give a little bit to show the softer side of
That's when I'll
Norman
change the
Dale. That's
channel.
the point. Otherwise,
I don't
he's just
care
a
about the
hardened
softer
coach.
side of Norman Dale. You know,
I don't know.
I didn't care about that.
All right, here I'm invoking a rule to this because this is like we didn't come up with like a constitution.
We have everybody
Let's say
chiming in.
we both get 2 picks in the first round to just veto over the other person and move a team on. All right? 2 of our 8 matchups.
We need people calling in.
So 4 of the 8 matchups will be predetermined by one of us just picking the one to move on. I'm using one of mine now. I didn't think I'd have to use this. I thought Hoosiers was a slam dunk. I mean, you're holding your ground. God bless you. You know, you're incredibly misguided and wrong, but you know, you're just back from New York. You're feeling a little strong, I guess.
Fired up, like trying
You're
to find a
fired up.
parking spot today.
Parking spot with your road rage. All right, I'll use
Jesus.
one of my things right now. Hoosiers advances. Not even a question. It's,
Okay,
it's
so you're-
travesty that I have to. So I only have one left.
All right, let me just get this straight for the viewers and all that. You're just gonna make up a rule
Well, that's
and
what,
put it into effect.
that's what our government does now, man. Where they just make up rules as they go. They amend things. That's what I'm doing. I'm creating
Look, I love
the rules
Hoosiers.
as we go.
I absolutely love Hoosiers. I mean, the fact that our phone number is Quan. That was in the movie, the Jerry Maguire movie.
Fair enough, and that's something that edges it even closer to Hoosiers slightly. Hoosiers, great movie. Jerry Maguire, great movie. Love story, not a sports movie. Hoosiers moves on.
Beep Dave Beth, you
put-
are becoming one of my favorite people on the message board. She says, "Bah, Jay needs a thwop on the head."
Well, for many reasons, but not that one. For that one, I have insane clarity on. All right, moving on.
I'm
to
gonna
the-
let this settle for a sec. We're not moving
Okay.
anything on just yet. I need more people. And people are still on the message boards and on Twitter, just throwing out movies that we have left off. And
Yeah.
again, I'm sure there's some that we may have forgotten. You know, Jamie Lyko wants, Chariots of Fire or something on.
No,
That's not
Prefontaine.
gonna
Prefontaine would be the running movie if we were going to put, and the one with not the one with Jared Leto, the one with the guy from Almost Famous, whatever his name was.
Oh yeah,
That
Billy
was-
Crudup.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
That was a great. Anyways, all right, we only have a limited amount. We got like 25 minutes left.
Okay, moving on.
Let's move on to the next one.
Moving on. Next
phone-
in the matchup,
We got a phone call.
Phone
All
call.
right, here we
All
go.
right, who we got? Maybe.
caller, go ahead. Who is this?
Welcome to the show. You're live.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Who's this?
It's Wayne Biff.
Oh, Wayne Morris, casting director extraordinaire. How we
Sir,
doing?
Respected,
Doing well. How you doing?
respected industry insider who knows the business and knows genres of movies.
And
I'm
I-
very curious to see what Mr.
I got to say,
Wayne has to
diehard
say.
Boston Red Sox, Pats fan, and all that. So, for everyone listening, this guy knows what he's talking about in the sports world. How we doing, Wayne? What do you got for us?
Just didn't see Any Given Sunday up on there, which is a great football movie. There's a lot of sports being played.
You're absolutely correct. The Inches speech at the end of that by Al Pacino is one of the greatest sports movie speeches of all time. Fantastic.
I agree.
Lawrence Taylor coked up, playing basically himself like Eminem played himself.
Steamin'
in
Willie
A-Mo.
Beeman.
The Willie Beeman fake Nike commercial. Fantastic. It's too friggin' long.
Yeah.
It's Oliver Stone. It's too much. I don't know. It was a little over the top for me. Loved it. It's not making my list.
It was like first or second out on the bubble for me, Wayne. We should have had one more football movie, and I guess we could call Jerry Maguire a football movie. We also have Rudy, and then nothing on the other side of the bracket. If I was going to put one football movie in, that would be it versus Varsity
Wayne, what do you
Blues.
think about the current debate we're having right now? Hoosiers or Jerry Maguire from a sports movie perspective?
I have to agree with Jay because Jerry Maguire has nothing to really do with sports or playing sports. It's more of an interaction. I mean, it's a great movie, but it's more of an interaction between relationships between people, and it really has nothing to do with the sports itself. If you want to base this little tournament, just base it on sports being played, then you have to eliminate Field of Dreams too, because there's really no sports being played there till the end.
That will definitely be discussed when we get to that.
Wayne, have you ever told a girl that she completes you?
You don't have to answer that, Wayne.
I don't think I have. No. But it's funny. Just getting back to Any Given Sunday, and Jay brought up about Lawrence Taylor, being all coked up, and I remember when that movie came out. 60 Minutes did a report on Lawrence Taylor, and it just did a blip of him. Find out what made Lawrence Taylor cry on 60 Minutes. My buddy next to me said, hey, LT, we're down to our last 8 ball, and that's what made him cry. So.
That's awesome. That's a great little tidbit. Thank you for calling in. Sucks you took Jay's side, but we appreciate you calling in.
Very much appreciated. You're now a very good friend of the show. Thank you, Wayne.
You're all over the message board. We appreciate the support, and let's go Yankees. Thanks, bud.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so there we go. All right, on to the next one. Hoosiers moves on.
Hoosiers moves on. The 1 seed barely ekes it out over an 8 seed.
Fair enough. I can live with that. With that. All right, what do we got for the next matchup?
Next up, Field of Dreams versus White Men Can't Jump, the 5-4 matchup.
Okay, you want me to go first?
Please.
You went first last time. Again, I don't want to attack Field of Dreams because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. But Wayne brought it up so eloquently. That is the fundamental flaw of Field of Dreams versus a movie like White Man Can't Jump, where we're actually watching basketball for a lot of the movie, and the actors actually had to learn how to play. Woody was already a pretty good basketball player. They had great extras. Wesley had actually never played basketball, and the camera tricks.
Right?
He had never really played basketball. He faked it very well. Ron Shelton, the director, used great camera angles and shot the movie great to make him look like he could play a little bit. White Man Can't Jump, another iconic basketball movie for a basketball guy growing up. It came out when I was a freshman in college. You got Woody, and it's you got basketball there is a racial not divide isn't the right word, but there's definitely between white guys and black guys. When you talk about the NBA draft, not to get on that, you always like to compare guys to other guys of their race. Right. So it was at a time in the 90s when Do the Right Thing was coming out, and you had some racial disharmony, which happens from time to time, flares up all the time, and that movie was so great to watch. I remember going to see that with all the guys on my college basketball team, and it brought a unity that was already there, but it made it stronger. And it also made Venice Beach, California, almost like Mecca for a basketball player. Every basketball friend of mine that has come to visit me in the last 6 years, one of the first things they want to do, they don't want to go to the Hollywood sign. They don't want to go to the Walk of Fame. They go, hey, let's go to Venice Beach and get some shots up.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to live 2 blocks from there for 2 years, and I played down there quite a bit. And there's something special about being down there. And the movie really celebrated that culture very, very well. A million great lines in the movie that, basketball players are quoting nonstop that, you bring up and it just brings a smile to your face. I'm getting tongue-tied thinking about it because I love this movie so much. Go ahead. It's my deep breath time. I want to go to the Hollywood sign. And I don't want to go to something special about being let's go to movies really celebrate that culture very, very well.
I was trying to get a soundbite going from White Man Can't Jump. I don't know why we have playback right now.
There's something special about being down there. Oh, you got the really celebrate that culture. You got the
We're having some technical difficulties right now.
Great lines. I'm getting tongue-tied thinking. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that.
We are off. Apologize about that. We were trying to get some White Man Can't Jump sound
Not enough
bites.
AV classes for us in high school, obviously.
Jeez. I'm trying to keep up with everybody on the message board and Twitter and all that stuff.
Yeah. All right, go. Give me some Field of Dreams.
All right, Field of Dreams. Arguably the best.
I can feel a half-ass effort coming your way right now. You don't have the same fire going as you did for Jerry Maguire.
When you talk about best sports movies of all time, best genres, baseball is always in the top 1 or 2. The fact that boxing is also number 1 or 2 is really interesting, that boxing movies have been so successful. But to go back to baseball, there's 3 or 4 baseball movies that are consistently at the top. Field of Dreams is one of them. You said yourself, Kevin Costner, the best sports actor you can possibly get your hands on in Hollywood. Is that correct?
Career-wise, yeah. If you
Okay.
stack his sports movies up against anybody else's, and him actually having to play the sport in them, yeah, not
Okay.
even close.
Now, one of my favorite topics to study is the Black Sox.
Yeah.
The whole World Series scandal.
Mhm.
I'm fascinated by that because if something like that happened today, that would just rock the sports world to its very core. I know this is not 8 Men Out, which delved totally into that topic, but the fact that you're dealing with the Shoeless Joe Jackson and guys of that ilk, of
Yeah.
that team and all that, I love that whole mysticism back then, the conspiracy, the mafia involvement and all that stuff. It takes me away. I know they don't directly hit on it, but that's where my mind starts to go with stuff like that. You have baseball, which is America's pastime, in its heartfelt moments, playing catch with your dad, bringing back your old heroes, building your own baseball field. The possibility of your whole family and friends think you're absolutely insane because you ripped
I'm
down
gonna
your
start crying.
cornfield.
You're bringing the waterworks here.
It's fantastic,
Yeah.
and I haven't even taken out my my kill shot. It was nominated for 3 Oscars, including Best Picture.
Yeah.
Now I might not necessarily agree with everything the Academy does. Nominated for Best Picture, that's about as good as it gets. You know what I just ruined it. What White Man Can't Jump was nominated for?
An MTV Movie Award.
2 MTV Video Awards.
And I would like to think that our audience, and me especially, I hold an award like that in a much higher esteem than an Oscar, where
Of course you do.
10 movies are nominated.
You
I've
think-
only seen 2 of them, like most people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't argue with that. The 2 things he was nominated for was
that
Best
doesn't help
On-Screen
your, that doesn't
Duo
help your argument. It
and
hurts your argument.
Best Kiss. Come on.
Yeah,
It's it's
Rosie Perez topless was also fantastic.
Rosie
But
Perez
that's,
is the
you
most
know,
annoying actress.
She
But I will say she was pretty good in that movie.
Yeah.
She was perfect for that
Yeah.
movie. No Rosie Perez topless because every time it's on, it's
On
not
TBS
it's on
or-
TBS, TNT, FX, something like that. So you don't get to see it.
Look, this is a quick one, I think. Not to waste time on this one, but I love Field of Dreams. It's a great movie. Brings the tears every time I watch it. The thing that kills any chance Field of Dreams has, because you eloquently talked about what a great movie it was, the romanticism, the relationships, the mysticism. Shoeless Joe Jackson batted left-handed. He did not bat right-handed.
I know,
You
you
have
brought
a
this
movie
up.
that was nominated for 3 Oscars and spent millions upon millions of dollars to be made, and you can't even get that part right. So it can't be a sports movie when the iconic baseball figure in the movie, they can't even have him batting the correct way. It's not like Ray Liotta had this beautiful right-handed swing and they had to make him bat right-handed. Just put him in a batting cage for 3 weeks, make him hit left-handed, and maybe it moves on. But you know what? Sorry about that one. That's going to be the nail in the coffin for Field of Dreams. I'm going to save some White Man Can't Jump stuff because I'm going to have to argue it in the next
it's
round.
Most
Yeah.
likely going to move on.
Yeah, so I don't want to use all my ammo. I don't need
my
all my ammo.
tiebreaker, and again, this is
Yeah.
we kind of picked out of a hat which movies we were going to argue here. My tiebreaker is if a movie's on, Godfather was on last night. It's gonna be on my TV.
Yeah.
Same with Goodfellas, a lot of these kind of movies. When White Men Can't Jump is on, I watch it. When Field of Dreams is on, I say, what's my schedule looking like? I kind of got to do something in a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't
mean,
want to get
like-
invested in this right now.
Yeah, you got to go outside afterwards. Maybe you got a couple tears. Your eyes are a little red. Field of Dreams, great movie. This is an easy one. White Man Can't Jump moves on. I'm 2-0, undefeated. Let's keep it rolling, brother.
White Man Can't Jump, the favorite to move on. Oh, so you had 2 favorites. Oh, and you get a favorite the next round also.
Oh, it's
This is 6 against number 3. Rudy, the number 6 seed against Miracle, the number 3 seed. Go ahead.
Oh my God, you go ahead. You go first because
If
yeah.
baseball is number 1 and boxing is number 2, football is number 3 for movies to get. Every single movie that we've had these people calling or texting or tweeting or Facebooking or Instagramming or writing on our message board, people are most pissed about our selection for football. Okay?
Okay.
To all those people, I apologize, but Rudy is your number 1 priority right now. Okay? I need some support here because this is a tough matchup against a very patriotic, uplifting, fired up movie. So,
Yeah.
Rudy,
Good luck bringing down the Iron Curtain, but go ahead, buddy.
underdog story, the biggest underdog story of all time. At a community college, gets into the most prestigious, not the most prestigious, I apologize, the most, I need a word here for what Notre Dame football stands for. The most elite football school, especially in its time.
Oh, I was going to
Notre
say
Dame.
overrated, but you can say elite.
I can't say I disagree with you right there.
Semantics.
We're in LA
Yeah.
with USC, probably 3 miles away from us. You take a kid who is undersized, under athletic ability, under every single thing you can think up for a football player, and he makes the practice squad. First of all, he gets into the university, which is a huge accomplishment.
Daddy issues. Daddy issues are a big theme in a lot of these movies, by the way.
A lot of daddy
A
issues.
lot of daddy issues in these movies.
Dad comes to the game at the end. Obviously, you've all seen the movie. I don't need to take you through each step by step, but the thing that got me in Rudy
Yeah.
is not when Vince Vaughn pointed up and poked him in the chest and said, that was for you. It's when the captains come into what's his name's office. I forget the name of the coach right now. Into the coach's office, put their jerseys down because Rudy has been a fearless 100% total adrenaline practice player for 4 years.
Yeah.
Working harder than anyone who's even on the team to try and get that one shot to dress for one game. The coach pretty much tells him you're going to get into a game this season. Coach takes a job in the pros. New coach comes on, doesn't even think to put Rudy on. Captains come in with the entire team following, putting their jersey on his desk, saying Rudy's dressing this time
Yeah.
or I'm not playing. That gets me every time.
That guy was
Okay.
also in what was he? The guy that played
in-
the evil coach.
He's in Major League, which is on the other side of the bracket.
He's in Major League, and he
Yeah.
was also in Hoosiers.
I'm
That
trying
guy
to
was
say
it.
Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
Jesus Christ can't hit
Yeah,
a
and he
curveball.
was in
He's also-
Hoosiers.
yeah, he was
He was
the bad
leading
guy
the pack
coach, yeah.
on the for the parents.
to kick him out. No, so, all right.
So and
All that
that
stuff.
should be good enough. Finally, Rudy dresses for a game.
Yeah.
He gets his brother. He gets his father to the game. He gets John Favreau, his best buddy.
Fat Favreau.
Huge Favreau.
Love
hilarious
Fat,
in that
Fat
movie.
Favreau's fantastic.
Gets them to the game. He's good enough just being on the sideline. Okay? They find a way to basically screw over Georgia Tech, which they could have got furious about, which is a whole nother debate, and get Rudy in the game.
Yeah.
Get him on for a kick. They ran up the score to get to a kickoff, to get him on the
Vince
field.
Vaughn had to defy
for
the
special
coach.
games.
Yeah.
Yes. They get Rudy on the field. One of my other favorite parts is once Georgia Tech gets the ball, they're going to run another play. He runs over to the sideline. He goes, "What do I do?" He said,
Stay out there.
Stay out there. Stay
Yeah.
out there." He gets down in the 3-point stance. Quarterback drops back. Rudy takes off, sacks the quarterback, gets in the books. They carry him out on the shoulders. They win the game. Don't tell me you didn't cry, and you still don't tear up a little bit when that happens.
Tear up a little bit. You know what Rudy didn't sack, though? His college degree. Rudy did not graduate from the
never
University of Notre Dame.
graduated. Yeah.
You know, they took some liberties with that one right
Only
there.
player to be carried off on somebody.
Great. I despise Notre Dame with every fiber of my being. That's the It's such a good movie that for that 2 hours I root for Notre Dame. Kind of. I hate Notre Dame, so I can never root for this movie. Rudy, it's a good movie. It's very unbelievable that a troll. I mean, Sean Astin is a great actor, but he's too little. It's just too weird. I mean, I don't even know what to say about Rudy. I will say this. They were playing Penn State in one of those games.
Yeah.
And one of our friends listening right now, Ken Loophole Jr., was playing for that Penn State team, and he remembers when they were doing that back then. He's recounted that story several times to me. Vince Vaughn, great, love him. Fat Favreau, love him. Great acting, love the movie. If it's on, I watch it. 2 hours, he's a great actor. You know, it's no miracle to me. That's where I'm going to go into miracle. Now, you know, you're
Lay it
talking
on.
about, you know, an elite. You use the phrase elite university, right? Elite, you know, Notre Dame. It's got this bastion of you know, education and sports coming together and religion, and we're talking about America in Miracle. We're talking about the height of the Cold War. We're talking about a Soviet team that had just destroyed an NHL All-Star team that had never lost. A coach coming out of nowhere, pulling together a bunch of college kids, not even using the pros, a bunch of nobodies, and we get to go on that journey with them. The great part, Kurt Russell, incredible as Herb Brooks. I would say the greatest portrayal as a coach of any in any movie I've ever seen. He was the most believable and the most inspiring coach I've ever seen in a movie. going on the journey with him, the amount of usually these movies build to a crescendo where the coach gives one dynamic speech at the end. Russell had to do this like 3 times throughout the movie where he just like, you want to jump out of your seat and run through a wall for him. The scene where they're playing overseas early on and they get blown out and he makes them stay on the ice and he blows again. He keeps saying again. And then you got Eruzione that comes out. Who do you play for? I play for the United States of America. I mean, everybody wants to stand up and do like the Pledge of Allegiance, sing the national anthem right after he does that. And then going into to that moment, again, this is a real story. This really happened. You can never beat real life. Al Michaels do you believe in miracles? Beating that Russian team. Little known fact, that wasn't the gold medal game. That was the silver. That was the semifinal game.
That a lot of people don't know or choose to forget.
They had to get back up and win the next game. The story is you couldn't write this stuff. It's I'm the thing, and it's crazy. I'm so passionate about this movie because I'm not a hockey fan. That's why it's amazing to me that I love this movie so much.
No, it's a phenomenal movie. I would have a tough time debating this myself. It's America. It's USA. That's why we get so excited for World Cup or in the Olympics, when one of our underdog teams does well. And every reference is to this hockey game.
Yeah.
The Russians weren't supposed to come close to losing.
No.
U.S. wasn't supposed to come close to winning. It's about as big an underdog story as you can get.
Yet Herb Brooks died, during the filming of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
When Kurt Russell did the movie, he didn't talk to the guys till the very end because he knew he needed distance. Because to channel his inner Herb Brooks, he needed to really get into these guys. And it was very method. It was very Daniel Day-Lewis before Daniel Day-Lewis. I don't know. I mean, I hate. I mean, we're both passionate about these movies. All these movies are very good movies. I don't know. I mean, this could be one that we're going to have to settle like at a later day. But, I mean, Miracle to me is so amazing. I mean, it's probably one of my top 5 favorite sports movies of all time.
We're absolutely going to have to settle it next time because we are running out of time. We got one more section of movies to talk about.
All right. Let us know. Chime in on that one. We'll let that one, marinate for a little bit.
Yeah, we got to do that. And then we got the number 2 seed coming up against the number 7 seed. Number 7 seed was your pick to get in. Tin Cup versus Caddyshack. Go.
I got Tin Cup in this one. This is a tough matchup. Golf versus golf. I mean, Caddyshack is one of my top 5 favorite sports movies.
It's in the hole!
It's in the hole. I mean, Bill Murray, amazing.
I'm not doing
Caddyshack. I was about to start like railing about how great Caddyshack is. Tin Cup. Ron Shelton again, the greatest sports director. Did White Man Can't Jump. Did Bull Durham. Did Tin Cup. I don't play a round of golf without quoting Tin Cup at least 4 or 5 times.
See, I got to stop you right there. I know you going first. I don't know anybody who quotes Tin Cup. I know everyone who quotes Caddyshack.
Like what's a golf line in Caddyshack that you say? It's in the hole. Okay.
It's in the hole. Is this Russia? This isn't Russia. The
I'll do like occasionally. There's no gambling at Bushwood, sir. But like I don't play golf without gambling.
Where'd you hit it? Right in the lumberyard. I mean,
yeah, but I'll say, hey, if somebody say, how'd you hit him today? I say, I parred the back 9 with a 7-iron. I mean, that's all Tin Cup is. Tin Cup is.
I don't even remember that line from that movie.
Is golf, is great golf lines throughout the entire movie. He was Kevin Costner we know he's a great baseball guy on TV. He's he didn't play golf prior to this movie. He went and learned golf.
You're a big fan of
3
that,
months prior. Yeah, I like when these guys, that's the coolest thing about being an actor to me, is you get to learn all these cool things. Tom Cruise is probably the greatest pool player I know because of The Color of Money.
Right.
What a cool like side effect other than all the fame, the women, the money, and the riches and the travel. You get to learn cool things. Kevin Costner turned into a great golfer. Don Johnson, great villain, man. Who doesn't love Don freaking Johnson? He played it. But Rene Russo, one of the most underrated, sexiest, milfy women in the history of cinema.
I don't disagree, but Lacey Underall in Caddyshack, without question.
Yeah.
Lacey Underall, come on. She's all over the place. Everybody in that movie.
We can tell by arguments when we're a little half-hearted. This is a tough one because I love Tin Cup. For me, it's going to be tough for me to not say Caddyshack with you.
I'm surprised our phone lines haven't heated up yet. I'm getting a few texts right now. This is no question for me. There is not anything referencing golf, let alone being out on the golf course playing, where you don't reference Caddyshack. I want a hamburger. No, I want a cheeseburger. You'll get nothing and like it. You'll get nothing like it's one of the best.
Love that line.
When Rodney Dangerfield, every single line, the best line of any closing
Nice
movie
hat.
ever.
You get a free bowl of soup with
Yeah,
that?
you buy a hat like this, I bet you get a free bowl of soup.
Yeah.
Looks good on you, though.
Looks good on
I mean,
you,
come
though.
on.
Yeah.
The last line of that movie is the best closing line to any movie ever. Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
every single movie. When he gets up at dinner at the club and goes on and on and on, hey, you must have been something before electricity. You know, hey, kid, can you make a bull shark? Yeah, can you make a shoe smell? Every single line. And then I haven't even started on Bill Murray and Chevy Chase and how they weren't
Let's
talking.
say-
They were
you might as well save that one because this was the perfect one to do at the end of the show because as much as I love Tin Cup, Caddyshack is it's tough. I mean, you're going to need some of these arguments because Caddyshack.
I got plenty of them for
Caddyshack is
Caddyshack.
going to go against Miracle in the next round, and I will not be relenting and giving up. This is going to be like the Scopes Monkey trial. I'm Clarence Darrow. You're who was the other lawyer in that one? I don't know. I'll think of it when the show ends. But it's going to be a tough matchup. Caddyshack, fantastic. I can't even put up an argument.
Look.
Caddyshack wins.
Caddyshack's got to win that.
So we got Caddyshack and Miracle next week.
Caddyshack going up against Miracle.
And Hoosiers versus White Men Can't Jump.
Hoosiers, White Men Can't, 2 basketball movie. I got to say, we did kind of set this up well to have, next week we're going to do the other side of the bracket.
Oh, the next week's
we
gonna
have
be
a
great.
fighting quadrant, all that stuff with
Yeah.
the Rockies. Go check out the brackets. They are up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
We need a longer show.
We need a much longer
Yeah.
show, especially when we start doing something like this, when we start getting into those dog days of summer of baseball and all that stuff.
Thank you, everybody, for chiming in. We appreciate
Thank you, everyone
it.
on the
Yeah,
message
keep it going.
board, everyone on Twitter, everyone who's too scared writing texts. Lisa Scavati, I know she's at work, so she can't call in. She's a huge advocate for Caddyshack.
Yeah.
Can't get a bigger fan of Caddyshack than that girl. Follow us on Twitter at mostly M&J. I am at Mike Scavati. He is at JFDev76. Get some arguments ready next week. We're going to be talking about a lot of sports movies. Go to Mostly Sports M&J on Twitter to see the full range of brackets. We're going to update them a little bit later today.
Get us on iTunes.
Get us on iTunes
Stitcher.
if you missed anything.
Yeah.
Get us on Stitcher. We're going to be up on YouTube in a little bit. So get us everywhere. And don't be afraid to tweet us if we missed anything this week, any big stories,
We definitely
anything.
miss things.
Let us know. We didn't even talk about hockey. A lot of hockey going
Yeah.
on. L.A., New York, huge hockey. All these BS fans out in L.A. We'll get into that a little bit next week. Thank you for listening so much. We appreciate it.
Enjoyed
and we will talk in a little bit. Brought to you by Westside Tennis Academy. Thank you very much. See you next week.